advancement. We said there is personification. Personification is evident where the silent listener is made to have abilities of human beings, including harvesting the sky for this fella. That is personification. I think that is all that we need to say here, but the major theme here is technological advancement. Although again, there is satire because the summit is thought to have a lot of security. And now I don't know whether you can remember the line that we said. Maybe somebody can help us to locate that, where it was said the ground was fully secured, but the sky was open. That was very wise. That was very intelligent. Ilikuwa page gani? Somebody can find it very fast. That the ground was very secure, but the sky was open. That was very wise. Somebody find it very fast. The security protocols, I think we mentioned it. Page 12, I read it.
So, while the sky above may have remained open, the ground below was fully covered. This is very clever.
Very good. I hope you get now the satire there. It is the sky that has security breaches, and that is why actually in this page 53 and 52, the youth is saying that he is harvesting the sky. Obviously, he's getting information from the presidents, although now they have ringed and fenced the pinnacle and made it a fortress with soldiers. That is satire. I hope it is understandable that way. So he noticed there is security breach. Let us continue. Whoever was reading can still continue. I think it was Leah. Leah, tafadhali endelea.
What? Disguises? Yes. They masked identity, but do little else. Take a listen. The youth's voice rose to simulate an imaginary speaker. Gamma, this is Kappa. Do you copy? Over. The voice fell to simulate another speaker. Roger, Kappa, come in. Over. The voice rose again to mimic the first speaker. Beta has just landed. Sokat, Delta lose. Over and out. The speaker shrugged. Oh, the youth shrugged. You know, simple stuff like that. Oh, and the final thing I did, I told the silent listener to record all suspects' broadcasts. Meaning what? Meaning communications with threat content. Even here, the silent listener was not up to the task of catching all of such communications. However, you will be amazed how much it caught. Here, the youth reached for a device that, until then, had been squinting mutely near him on the conference table. He switched it on, then keyed in it a number. Miss Mackenzie, listen to this verbal trinket. He pressed play. A female voice spoke. Dr. Folabi, I have to go. Silly boss wants me back at the office. Something has come up. Sorry. Miss Mackenzie was tongue-tied. When she could talk again, she did. That was me, she confessed. Her eyes were filled with a child's amazement. Mr. Manley was watching her. May I ask who Dr. Folabi is? He ventured. As summit delegate, I was interviewing for the Gambian News, sir. She turned to the youth. Nick, did you also record the interview itself? No, the silent listener caught the bit I have just replayed only because you said it with your cell phone, still in a transmission mode. Silly boss, we'll have had that epithet as well. She slapped herself on her brow for this indiscretion. I shouldn't have called him silly, huh? No, you shouldn't have. All right, now here another trinket. He keyed in some number and pressed play again. This time a male voice spoke. Excellent. Keep that phone on at all times, day and night, rain or sunshine or shine. From now on, I will be calling you often, even unexpectedly, but only through this number. So always have the mobile phone on. Unlike your hotel phone, it is completely secure, which means I can talk to you on it freely. Isn't that ironic? Asked the youth, smiling. The silent listener caught that bit of conversation because the speakers were using wireless cell phones, believing them to be more secure than their hotel's landline. In this case, the landline was in fact more secure than their cell phones after all. That is ironic, isn't it? Yes, it is. Miss Mackenzie had new respect for the youth. She had just branded a buffoon.
That's okay. That's okay. That's very okay. I can see somebody has said, that is TK Onchonga. Please, can you explain the difference between sarcasm and satire? Sarcasm and satire. Well, I will explain it this way. Sarcasm is actually a type of irony that we call verbal irony. Verbal irony. I believe by now you teachers have mentioned that we have 3 types of irony. That is verbal irony, dramatic irony, and situational irony. Although that may not be very important, but now sarcasm is verbal irony. Verbal irony is where someone says something that they do not mean. Somebody says something that they do not mean. Either, mostly it is said to a person directly. For example, at home there, if maybe I have actually just told my daughter right now, nikamwambia nimeenda kufundisha, mkuja munipigie kelele. I mean, that is sarcasm because I do not mean that. I do not mean that I want them to make noise, but now sarcasm is when you say something and it is the opposite of what you mean. For example, if I say if you do something at home, maybe you break a glass at home, and your mother, because mostly it's mothers that use sarcasm, they tell you umefanya vizuri sana, umenivunjia glasi, umefanya vizuri sana. That is sarcasm, and sometimes it can be said even about a third person. Ati ndugu yako ameua kuku, enda umwambie amefanya vizuri sana. That is sarcasm. But now satire is when now you tell a story. Satire is a little bit deeper. You tell a story with an intention of bringing out foolishness, or with an intention of bringing out the failure of a particular party or the subject of your story. For example, if you say, umeona principal venye amefanya, amenunua bendera mpya, kila classroom block imewekwa mti ya bendera na imepandishwa bendera, na ndivyo tunakula githeri hii shule, hakuna hata siku ya mchele juu hakuna pesa. That is that is satire, because now you are explaining, you are telling a story with an intention of showing some foolish decision. I hope that is clear, Onchonga. I've taken a little bit of time because I know you need to understand it clearly. Is it clear?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Then now in page 44, remember all this. In page 54 and 55, the prevailing theme or the major theme is technological advancement. And again, the prevailing style here, we have personification because we are talking about the silent listener. And you see in page 54, it said it had been squatting mutely. To squat is just, it's only a human being that is able to squat because inaitagwa kukalia miguu. So he is squatting, that silent listener is squatting. And the fact that it is even being called a listener then in that case, you can say it is personification. Then if you go to page 55, I hope you can be in a position to identify irony. It is ironical that they thought using wireless mobile phones is secure, and it is actually even the most insecure way, because this silent listener is harvesting the sky for the network and for the code, and it is listening to what people are saying. So basically, we also have technological advancement as a style there. Leah, do you have a question? Sorry?
No.
Proceed,
No.
proceed reading.
He keyed in a different number. Now, hear this trinket, excerpted from the same conversation. Another male voice spoke. Then, why won't you tell me your real name? Miss Mackenzie, kept that question in mind as you Miss Mackenzie, keep that question in mind as you listen to the answer. The youth keyed in a previous number. The first male voice spoke. I won't, because our mission is still at a delicate stage. For that reason, I'd rather you didn't know who I really am yet, until I tell you otherwise. Just call me your guide. Needless to say, I won't let you see my face either, but you will hear my voice. Is there anything else you would like to ask me? The youth waved that question away and played 3 other excerpts from different but similar conversations. He then concluded, in short, we have a man talking to a total of 4 other men. He knows their names but will not tell them his. They should just call him their guide, he insists. You see, guide in his disguiser is a fake name, like Gamma and Kappa in the examples I had gave earlier. He says he is talking in the nameless way because some mission is still at a delicate stage. Now, what mission is that? Mr. Manley cut the youth off. Let's stop there for the time being, cowboy. Then he looked at his watch. Goodness, I must run. I have a meeting at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He rose. Cowboy, let's walk our new colleague to her office, shall we? They did. A few paces down the corridor later, Mr. Manley opened a door. Miss Mackenzie, meet your office, he said. I hope you like it. Wow! She did like it. Mr. Manley, it's lovely. Thank you. You're welcome, he said. Now listen, both of you. I'm giving you free rein. From here on, you are on your own. So get down to work, will you? Then he turned to the youth. See you later, cowboy. Go give them hell, hot shit, answered the youth. He turned to Miss Mackenzie next. Promise me you won't let cowboy bully you, okay? Have a nice meeting at the ministry, Mr. Manley, she said. Dr. Folabi had toast in...
Please pause there for a moment. Now that bit, we have seen Fiona Mackenzie being introduced to Nick Sentinel. And now she's also being introduced to her new assignment. She's being introduced to a new office. And Fiona has been picked because of her prowess in news reporting, and also because of her African background. So here you will want to look at how the background really affects this. And then now Fiona is introduced to their media colleague from America, that is Nicholas Sentinel. And we see that he is a communication technician who is very knowledgeable. And his work, and this is what I want you to understand, his work is to provide technical backup in wireless communication by just using a simple wireless gadget. I want you to notice that he will be very important, and this is where actually their mission converges with Path Alpha, because he will help Path Alpha through Mackenzie. Remember, Mackenzie now is a link between Path Alpha and Voice of America. Both of them, Voice of America and Path Alpha, they are interested in good leadership. And therefore, Mackenzie, her primary role is to connect Path Alpha and VOA. Remember, they initially are not aware of each other. Tafadhali, you notice that. They are initially not aware of each other, but their mission and their objective is similar. They want to make sure that there is good leadership. That is it. And then now we see Fiona is awed by Nick's gadget. She had seen him as a buffoon, but now she realizes her opinion changes actually about him when she realizes that she's a very intelligent person, and when he plays the trinket of her calling her boss silly. And then now, Mr. Manley, and that is a very important question that I want you to notice. Mr. Manley asks who Dr. Afolabi is from Fiona. And as far as Fiona knows, Dr. Afolabi is the summit delegate. So Mr. Manley does not really know Afolabi, but now again later we will see that it is through the silent listener and Mr. Manley's bureau that we will get to know Dr. Afolabi and whatever is. And then also we get to see that Mr. Manley is a very senior person because he has a meeting at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So he leaves, and he and Nicholas, we see that they show her new office. Now, please ask these questions to yourself. They are probing questions that you need to ask yourself, that is. Why do you think the Voice of America is going to such great lengths to cover the heads of state summit in the Gambia? Why do you think VOA is covering the summit in the Gambia? I think I have already explained that in my explanation. And number two, what do you think Nick Sentinel's activity reveal about? What do you think Nick Sentinel's activity reveal about the following? Number one, young people innovativeness, or the innovativeness of the youth. And by the way, this question can actually motivate some of you to know that young people also can have a lot of influence. Number two, what does his activity tells you about the modern technology or modern gadgetry? What does it tell you about people's privacy? What does it tell you about people's privacy? Then I want you to notice that trained professionals in Africa are paid badly. You may even compare this to Professor Karanja Kimani's payment. And actually, Fiona confesses that VOA would pay her salary dwarfing the 2 bins the Gambian News had been paying her, 2 bins. And by the way, we should have said the 2 bins is metaphorical, it's a metaphor. What I want you to notice the VOA policy of employing non-Americans. I want you to notice about that policy. I want you to notice how VOA is intruding into people's private space to learn and manipulate the outcome. That the VOA is coming out actually not really as a media house, but as an intelligence service. It is an intelligence service. And therefore, I want you to think about this in line with colonization. In line with colonization. And again, what does it make of our fathers of nations? Remember, fathers of nations means heads of state. So what does it mean about our fathers of nations? Remember, they are brought together into one summit and being shown to be fools, for lack of a better word, and they are fooled by a young man who is just 25 years old. We may proceed unless somebody has a question. We are moving from page 57, and this bit now, we are calling it Fiona's near abduction. Fiona's near abduction. And this is an episode that angers most of my female students. And I can see most of them are here. They are sometimes angered by this episode. So let us read through. And I will ask who? Let me ask wanaume round hii. Wacha niulize Levi asome. All right. In case Levi is unable to, let me ask Ensley. Aya, Levi, nimeona umeunmute, endelea.
Followed tossed in his bed sleeplessly for nearly an hour before he finally dozed off. Now, only minutes after the phone on his bedside table was ringing, he answered it. "Is that you, Dr. Afolabi?" asked a female voice on the line. He had heard this voice before, but as he could not remember whose it was, he asked, "Who is this?" "Fiona," she said. "Fiona? Fiona Mackenzie?" He had remembered her now. "Do you know what time it is, Miss Mackenzie?" he asked her. Anger was creeping into his tone. "I'm in the reception hall," she said. "Come." "Score point here," Abiola told himself. "Make her wait." When he was satisfied he had kept her waiting for long enough, he went down. She was not there. Had she left? Well, at least now he could truthfully say he had answered her call and come down. His conscience clear, he turned around, ready to go back to his room. Suddenly, a piercing scream reached him from behind. A woman was crying. "Help me," pleaded the woman. She was about 30 years old. "Please, help me." Dr. Falabi saw why she needed help. A man was holding her carelessly by the waist. "Hey, Joy, hush," the man told her, giving her a rough squeeze. "People are going to think I'm abducting you." At the front desk, the clerk on duty, completely unconcerned, had his eyes glued to a novel. For him, the man and the woman did not exist. Dr. Ofolabi went and confronted him. "Your guests are having a fight over there," he pointed. "That's bad for the Simmons image, is it not?" The clerk closed his novel on a finger, then looked at him. "Sir, what do you want me to do? Go and pry them apart?" He shook his head. "No, sir. I'd lose my job in a second for ruffling their feathers, if I did that." Though a Gambian, he spoke with a British accent. "Sir, I have 5 children and a wife to feed. So I ask you, sir, why would I want to risk losing my job over these 2 strangers?" He brought a cupped hand to his lips in a drinking gesture. "Drunk, sir. They will be gone before you can ask where. Our pub has just closed, sir." "Help!" screamed the woman again. "Someone, please." "Joy, I said be quiet," the man told her. "Didn't you hear me?" He pulled one of her ears. "No, now you heard me, right?" She hoisted her up in the air, and like a predator carrying away prey, headed for the elevators. "I don't know this man," the woman said to one and all. "He's abducting me." Her legs started kicking wildly, scissoring in the air in frantic strokes. Then she tried to claw him in the face with her fingernails, but he ducked. "Someone, please help me," she begged. "Joy, why do you want to go trudging out into the cold at an ungodly hour like this?" he asked her. "When you can come to my room and roll in a in warmth all night. You like warmth, yes? Please, he will assault me. Assault her? Dr. Falabi doubted that. Yet Africa is Africa, he said to himself. It comes at you from both directions, from back and from front, from right and from wrong. As if to confuse you, it always confronts you with both opposites on every issue, good and evil, wealth and poverty, peace and war. Help! Please, help! She was crying with even greater desperation now. Abiola, please help me. Abiola, please. The mention of his name took Dr. Folabi by surprise. Miss Mackenzie, is that you? He asked. This close, he could see the woman was Miss Mackenzie. His anger at her now gone. He briefed her doctor. You, that's enough, he told him. Put her down right now. The man turned around to face him. What did you just say? He asked. His face was a picture of disbelief. I didn't hear you. Are you man enough to repeat what you said? Yes. I told you to put her down. Oh, did you? All right, now get this. My real name is Leo, but people prefer to call me the Liberian Mullah. So, if you know what is good for you, you'll scurry back to the hole you came from. Who are you, anyway? Never mind who I am, just put her down. Whatever you're selling, you can see she's not buying. Let her go, Leo. I promise I won't harm you, but only if you do as I say. The man put her down. Joy, please step aside for a second, he said. A branch here is asking for it. His English, though fluent, had a sing-song wail to it. Just a second, Joy, okay? He looked at Dr. Folabi. Little boy, didn't your mama tell you never to be rude to your superiors? She forgot. No problem. I'll do it for her. He balled his hands into fists, then punched the air in front of him experimentally. The result was satisfactory. Encouraged, he moved. Now close your eyes, little boy, because I'm coming to hit you, and it's going to hurt, he said then charged. When he was close enough, he threw a punch. It grazed Abiola's brow, scraping his face. The man stepped back to gather momentum for another blow. By then, Dr. Falabi decided to defend himself. He planted himself in a boxer stance and clenched his hands into rocks of human tissue. Then he waited. The man moved forward and unleashed an upward punch. Dr. Falabi tossed his chin back to avoid it, but left a leg in the way. The man missed. His momentum did not, and diminished by the target he had not hit. It continued to propel him onward. As he careened forward, he ran into Dr. Falabi's leg, now bent at the knee, which rose and hit him in the groin. He keeled over and fell. He did not rise again. The fight was over. The clerk at the front desk still had not moved. Here, Dr. Falabi said, offering an arm to the woman he had just rescued. Come. She did not resist. The Liberian mullah had left her in a state of disarray. Hair stuck out from her head in tufts, as straw from a sloppy bird's nest. In this state, she simply could not have resisted. She followed him. Welcome, he said as he ushered her into his suite. Beyond that, I don't know what to tell you. He switched a light on. Bringing you here was the easy part. He switched more and more lights on. Now that you're here, what do I do? My, look at your face, she said. Did you know you have a scrape on it? I'll put something on it. Come on, it's nothing. Sit and relax, okay? She opened her handbag and dug out a few contents. I've all the tools I need, you see? She took out cotton wool and boiled it with her fingers. First, we'll use cotton wool to scrub it clean with this. She showed him a tiny bottle containing a clear purplish liquid. It's my nail polish remover. She uncapped the bottle, tipped it and wet a part of a cotton ball with the liquid. Nail polish is mostly alcohol. Fully absorbed in her work, now she had forgotten all about the missing button on her dress. Alcohol dissolves the dirt of other stuff. In case it will dissolve off your script, don't let it dissolve my face off as well, okay? I'll try to remember that. Will it sting? Yes, but only a little. Okay, now let's go. She went to work. Ouch. You say it won't sting. I said that it will sting a little. She wiped her script dry with a fresh cotton ball, then put a small band-aid on it. Anyway, you're all patched up now. Good as new. She gathered her tools and put them back in her bag. So, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to fix my dress. She took her handbag into the bathroom, then closed the door. I won't be long, she said. That might well have been his cue.
Pause there, Levi. Pause there a little. So then now we can be in a position to mention a few things there. Number one, up to page 60. Actually, we may take that as our main episode. That is as near abduction. Fiona's near abduction episode. Fiona's near abduction. And the major theme there that we can see is theme of violence. And we can call it gender violence, or else we can just decide to call it violence against females. Please fast backward, or what do we say? We fast forward and we move back. Move back to where Tuni was attending seminars against male criminals. Now here we are experiencing a male criminal, this level. And therefore you will say this one is female violence or violence against women or gender violence. And actually that is bringing out the issue of immorality. Immorality is coming out clearly, or the hiyo jina inanisumbua, Mungu wa majeshi. Objectification of women. Objectification of women. They are seen as objects of pleasure. Women are seen as objects of pleasure, and this one, up to 60, is a major theme. Now, I want you to look at how Leo is doing, and I want you to look at the reaction of the clerk at the reception desk. Actually, he feels that he should not even be concerned about them because he would lose his job. And therefore, basically, that is ironical because according to Dr. Afolabi, the fellas are disturbing people and they might. Actually, Dr. Afolabi is asking him, it is bad for the Seamounts image. Isn't it bad for the Seamounts image? So in essence, it is an indication that in Africa, actually, people mind their own business and therefore there is insecurity. And then for styles, you can see all those styles that we have. Remember, we said dialogue is a style. Then we move to page 59. I hope you can see parallelism. Remember, I explained to you here that parallelism is where we have constructions that have similar arrangement. Mostly they have two parts. For example, if you see in Africa, it always confronts you with both opposites in every issue: good and evil, wealth and poverty, peace and war. That is parallelism. The same way with just up there, It comes at you both direction, from back and from front, from right and from wrong. That is parallelism. You can highlight it as a style. It is quite okay. And here, Dr. Afolabi is brave as a character trait. Dr. Afolabi is brave. On the other side, you will say that Leo, or the Liberian Mola, is insensitive. He is insensitive, or else you can say that he is brutal. But Dr. Afolabi is brave, and also he is sensitive. He is caring, for that matter. Then the second bit, we see the bit where, that is from page 61, we see the bit where Fiona Mackenzie is coming out as caring, and she is offering to actually nurse Dr. Afolabi's scrap, or scrape for that matter. And the meaning of the word scrape is an injury where there is some scrapping off of the skin. So a scrap is just like different from a cut because it is not as deep, but it is wide on the skin. And that is what we call a scrap. All right. Then we notice that in page 61, Dr. Afolabi is cordial. Cordial is a character trait. When he says, he is actually jocular. He is making some jokes. He says, do not let it dissolve my face off as well. And actually, it is ironical that Dr. Afolabi could not fear the Liberian Mola, but now he is fearing just some nail polish remover. I think that is ironic that now he is afraid of the nail polish remover. Yet he was brave enough to face the Liberian Mola. I think that is okay, unless someone has a question or addition. Remember, you may add anything. Okay, let me proceed.
That might as well have been his cue. He immediately killed all the lights in the suite except the one in the bedroom, stripped down to briefs, threw a spare blanket and a spare bed cover over a couch, then slipped between the blanket and the bed cover. The door to the bathroom opened, Fiona emerged and started walking, but stopped. Her eyes had not adjusted to the darkness in the living room. Where are you? She asked. Over here, he said. I've taken a couch in the living room. Go take the bed in the bedroom. You're acting as if you might have a wife, she said. Do you? No. She divorced me last year. Did she? Yes. Let's see now. You studied in America at a marriageable age. So let me guess. Go ahead. She's American. Who? Pamela? That's her name. Pamela. Yes, it is. And yes, she is American. Enough about me now. Let's turn to you. Shouldn't your name still be Fiona Mackenzie? Who told you might have changed? She started walking to the bedroom. Her eyes had adjusted to the only light. Why is the Liberian mullah calling you Joy instead? It's local slang for street walker. He was calling you a street walker. Yes. You want me to draw a picture for you? Where are you from anyways? Mars? No. Nigeria? Married? Me. The phone rang. He rose and answered the landline by the couch. When he ended the call, his mood had darkened. What's the matter? She asked him. You seem upset all of a sudden. Who's on the phone? One, Chineke Chiamaka, he said. The man was claiming that I chided him for being drunk when all he had was a Pepsi. He wriggled in his improvised bed to protest his innocence against that claim. It beats me how he got my suit's phone number in the first place, he added. Anyway, I did not chide him. Why do people like to tell lies? I'm not sure. Perhaps it's fun. She said, lying is fun. I said, I'm not sure. Now, you did a good turn for me downstairs. They say one good turn deserves another. So in return, can I tell you something? I'm not yet sure. I shall tell you. Sure, go ahead. They have this youth at the VOA. His name is Nick Sentinel. What does he do? He snoops on wireless transmissions with a machine he calls, wait for it, the silent listener. While I was there this morning, while you were where? At the VOA. Yesterday you said you work for Gambian News. Were you lying? After all, you've just said lying might be fun. Will you let me finish? No. Look, I really do work for the Gambian News. Skip the lies. You're a CIA agent, aren't you? I won't answer that. Because you are, or because you can't? Neither. Isn't that exactly what you would say if you were? All right, I'll answer it. Try. Believe me, I'm a reporter for the Gambia News. Normally, that is, but since right after our interview yesterday, I am on loan to the VOA. If you must know, the VOA pays much better than the Gambia News. Will the VOA take me for keeps? No. When the loan ends, it will be, thank you very much, Miss Mackenzie, but please go back to the Gambian News tomorrow and start eating boiled dirt for breakfast, lunch, and supper again. Are you happy now, Dr. Falabi? He did not answer. Anyhow, to go back to what I was saying, you won't believe the amount of information this Nick Sentinel has gathered with his machine in just a day or two. He has got on a compact disc. He played back to me this morning, a man talking to 4 other men. Now, here's what makes this catch interesting. The man knows the other men's names, but for some strange reason, they don't know his, and he doesn't want them to know it. Dr. Falabi started paying her greater attention. He feared the youth she was describing might have uncovered him. To hide his alarm, he yawned. You're not interested in my story, are you? She asked him. Of course I am. He said, I just think I'll be more attentive tomorrow. Good night, Miss Mackenzie. Good night, Dr. Falabi. Before Dr.
All right.
Falabi,
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Levi, that's quite an interesting one. Now, what do you think? What do you think, Levi? Maybe I would ask you. Why do you think, Levi? Why do you think Fiona came to Dr. Folabi's suite? And by the way, that word is read suite, suite, suite. Actually, in paper one, if you are told to give a word pronounced the same as suite, hotel suite, it is suite, the one that we use like the lollipop sweets. Why do you think Fiona Mackenzie had come to see Dr. Falabi in the evening? Levi? All right, perhaps it's a difficult question, but I would want to say this. The last time that Fiona Mackenzie and Dr. Falabi met, actually, it was an explosive interview. You remember we called that bit the explosive interview. They did not go on well. But now here, he has gone to Voice of America, and he has noticed that there is some information that she has. And therefore, she comes back to give Dr. Afolabi the information. And actually, she wanted also to interview him about those people that are communicating. That is the path alpha 4. That is why when he comes, even after all that, she tells him about the silent listener and the amount of information that Nick Sentinel has gathered. Therefore, in this case, then, we can see that there is some good camaraderie. She's actually coming so that she could put him close enough so that she can get information from him. Remember, that is the work that she has been given by the Voice of America to know about the summit. But again, we see that Dr. Afolabi is thinking that this lady is an agent of CIA. CIA is just like CID, it's an investigative bureau. It is an investigative agency. And basically, somewhere along our reading, we have seen that sometimes actually these people think that it has been thought that Voice of America is more of an investigative entity other than a media house. So I want you to notice that. And basically, what I want us to say is this. The most important thing is in the Fiona's near abortion, that is from page 57 and 61. Fiona calls Dr. Afolabi when he is about to fall asleep and tells him he's at the reception. Why is he there? Is she there? Actually, she wants to give him some information and also learn something from him. And we see that Dr. Afolabi, and in this case, we will say he is proud, decides to take a little longer so as to score a point after their explosive parting the last time they had met. And it is at this time that he hears a scream from a woman and he realizes that the woman needs help. And actually, it becomes even more clear when his name is called out. So Dr. Afolabi brings out the insensitivity of Africans when the clerk does not actually bother about the woman who needs help, because the man is hoisting the girl like one carrying a prey to the elevator. And then she tries to claw the abductor in the face with her fingernails, but she's unable because the abductor ducks. To duck is to move aside. To duck is to dodge, basically. So even when you see a fly coming to your face and you move your head, we say you have ducked. That is the meaning of the word duck. So the woman turns out to be Fiona, and Dr. Afolabi rescues her, and this one brings to us a character trait of Dr. Afolabi as being brave. He's brave. And then Dr. Afolabi offers to go with Fiona to his suite to tidy up before the Liberian Mola is left in a state of disarray. And there we have theme of violence. And basically we can have violence against women, and also even in the fight and the scuffle between the two men, then we will also say there is violence. Then in Fiona's refuge in Dr. Afolabi's hotel suite, we have seen that. So when she gets into the room, she nurses Dr. Afolabi, and that comes out as a character trait of being caring. But again, we see that Dr. Afolabi is reserved or cautious for that matter, because he says he will take the couch and let Fiona take the bed in the bedroom. He is cautious, one, and number two, he is considerate or generous. I don't know whether it were me, I would have I would have told her to take the couch and I take my bed. But you see, now for him, he is caring because he decides to take the couch himself and let her take the bed. He is actually a gentleman, like, and also he is cautious. Then also we get the theme of immorality that is there in Africa, perhaps out of poverty, because we are explained to the meaning of the word joy. It is a street walker. A street walker is a prostitute. Therefore, we get to know that in Africa, we have prostitutes, as shown in the local slang, street walker. Those are some of the things that we need to notice, that we have such. And the key questions that I need you to ask yourself. I need to ask you this. Dr. Afolabi is saying that Chineke Chiamaka had called him in his landline to complain because he is unhappy that he had chided him. To chide is to scold. To chide ni kusomea mtu basically for being drunk. Yet at this point, the four do not know the identity of the guide. Who do you think is the actual caller? Who do you think is the actual caller? And do you think if Chineke Chiamaka had called, do you think he is sober as he calls? Do you think he is sober as he calls? Because this is late in the night. Now, I want you to reflect on this. One, Dr. Afolabi is deceptive about who had called him. That is why I have asked you that reflection question. Do you think it is Chineke Chiamaka who had called? Really? It is not. He is deceptive, and that is a character trait. This tells us that he is carrying out some covert activities, as seen when he lies to Fiona about who had actually called him. He says it is Chineke Chiamaka, although we know the four have not yet met Dr. Afolabi, the guide. So who do you think had called him? And then number two, I want you to think about the connection between Dr. Afolabi and Fiona. And I want you to notice that it has gone beyond reporter seeking interview and an interviewee. Dr. Afolabi shares his personal matters, and Fiona also reveals what she should essentially be top secret information. They now seem to be working together towards the adoption of Path Alpha. So I want you to notice that the Fiona girl is a link, And actually, I am almost convinced that after the end of the book, perhaps they married each other. But please, we do not like to imagine. But I think that could have happened anyway, or it should have happened. That is on a light note. And then Dr. Afolabi is worried that his undercover activities and his identity has been uncovered or revealed by Fiona and the silent listener. So those are the kind of things that we see there. And I want you to reflect on those as we move forward towards reading the book. Because basically the reason why we are reading is for us to understand whatever is going on in the book and to allow ourselves to understand the flow of the story, obviously to be in a position to answer questions as it were. Is there anybody who has a question up to that juncture? Is there anybody who has a question up to that juncture? Brian, tuko pamoja so far? Coach?
Yes.
That is okay. Hensley, have you been following? Are we okay? Hensley? Hensley?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sylvia, are we okay? Sylvia? Onchonga, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, that is okay. I can see the thumbs up from Sylvia. Now, I want us to stop there for today.